Are we ready? Are we ready?
Let me see. I don't see any kids.
We're not getting any readier, Chris. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. H-Town, how are you guys doing? The 713, right?
All right. Woo! All right.
Welcome to Podcasting Simplified, Branding and Audience Growth. Let me talk about, I am Chris from the podcast 10 Drink Minimum. I just noticed Pam Grier is over there. Wow. That's pretty amazing, right?
What the hell is she doing?
We have a distinguished panel of podcasters here. Let me introduce everyone.
Why is Pam on?
We have Daniella from the Bad Axe podcast. Brandon from Colt 45. Craig Price from Matinee Heroes. Michael Carrell, Comicast. And Ozeal from Pod Houston.
I didn't know we had some professionals.
Oh, and what's your name?
Ming Chen.
Oh, okay. And Ming Chen. What podcast are you from?
Thank you. I have multiple, but I'm from the Shared Universe Podcast Studios in New Jersey. Thank you, Chris.
So we're gonna talk about today. So first of all, how many people here are podcasters, or you're going to start a podcast? We got here. No, shut up. Yes, you.
Starburns?
You. All right. So we're going to talk about how you stand out in today's climate. I was looking it up earlier. There's listed over 4.7 million podcasts currently in the world. And the average episode per podcast is one. Right? But they said right now, active, there's probably between 300,000 and 400,000, right? So how do you stand out amongst all those people? How do you last for a long time? How do you have longevity? How do you keep your listenership going? How do you guys do it? That's my question, because I'm also, I've been doing this, just so you know, in July, I will be podcasting 20 years. I started in 2006. Yeah. When I started, you had to buy your stuff at Radio Shack. You didn't know how to do it. There was nowhere to go, except I had to listen to people's podcasts, and they would mention a piece of equipment, and I'd go look it up, and then I would buy it because I had no idea. So how do you guys in today's climate with everyone starting a podcast literally like weekly, how do you stand out?
I have a thought. Okay, so I do true crime, and it's one of the more crowded fields for podcasts. There's so many true crime podcasts.
I would say it's most crowded.
It really is. So one of the things that I focus on is trying to do cases that aren't as covered by other podcasts. So I just ignore all the famous serial killers, the most famous cases we all know about. I'm trying to cover cases that if they pop up at all on another podcast, it's less than two, maybe two at the most. But I prefer to cover cases that haven't been covered yet. So it's people, when they come to me, they know that this is the only person who is, oh, hey.
There you go.
This is the only person who covered it.
I thought it was me. I thought I was going down.
Oh, my goodness. No, it was not loud. But that also, so people know that. I've also had people sign up for my Patreon because I was the only one who covered a case they really needed to know about. And occasionally I'll get people in the industry, in law enforcement or attorneys and stuff who are working on a case will just listen to an episode.
Wow.
So they can kind of get the overview of what's going on with whatever case that they need to know about.
I just want you to know, she said something on the panel last year that stuck with me so much. I remembered her immediately when I saw her. She was like, yeah, there's people that live in other people's houses in their crawl space and they don't know about it.
And
I was
the attic.
In the attic. And I was like, oh, that's terrifying. Terrifying to know. What about the rest of you guys? What advice do you have to someone? I'm starting a new podcast. How do I stand out? What do I do to brand? What do I do to get myself out there?
Well, what I will say is that what not to do is get a cute, punny name.
Yeah.
Because people will lose what you have to actually talking about. So it may sound cool. Oh, that's a great name. But that's not what people are looking for.
Right.
So be a little bit more thoughtful about what you're naming it. Don't just make it because it's something that sounds interesting. with Colt 45, that's something that that's a number and it's a thing, I can find it real quick.
Yes.
But it's not punny, it's kind of like that. With Matinee Heroes, for some reason, nobody wanted it. We've got it all over the place. So that name worked, and we've built a brand around that.
I agree with what you're saying, and I feel like if you, when you're thinking about your name, you also want to not like paint yourself into a corner.
Right.
Like if you give a certain name, and I can't have a good example, but there may not be a way that you're like, well, we've done everything that the name implies. Yeah. And that's a hard one too. Because as a podcaster, one of the big things is you always want to evolve and you always want to keep things fresh. That's what I've found. So, sorry, you were going to say something else.
No,
right.
I finished up.
Okay.
Don't get cute.
Don't get cute. I like that, yeah. And I feel like to add to that,
no joke.
Like if you're going to start a podcast, like we all get this a lot. Oh, you're a podcaster? Oh, I have an idea for a podcast. Can I run it by you? And they'll run it by you. And you really have to think of like how much longevity can you get out of that? Is this going to be episodic? Is this going to be season by season? Is this something I can do just forever? I mean, it depends on what you want to do. Some people want to do 10 episodes, and that ran its course. It was a mini series, and it did it. I'm sure. Is that much like what you guys do?
Not for mine. We do weekly cases, and occasionally we do multi-part episodes, but it's more of like mostly weekly cases.
Wow, see, that's pretty cool. I feel like, because for me, mine is just weekly, and like it's a talk show. It's like a talk show, and I can do that forever because I just bring in people and I'm constantly talking to them. How do you guys feel like? How do you keep yourself involved and want to do it?
Every day I feel like quitting.
Really?
That's right. So one of the things I always share with podcasters is that you're creating a show. It's work. So I always ask yourself, what's going to be suitable to your lifestyle? So going to what you were saying, Chris, about thinking about the format. Is it going to be episodic, seasonal? You have to make sure that you look at your lifestyle. If you're a full-time mom, you have a full-time job, maybe episodic or maybe seasonal where you can take breaks. So really getting clear on your lifestyle and what's practical, what's sustainable. The other thing I want to point out, I want to kind of piggyback on what we talked about, cute. What was the thing that you were saying? The cute, don't be cute. Yeah. Clarity wins the game. So I always say questions to ask yourself before starting for our new podcasters. Why start the show? Who is it for? And what are you going to contribute to the ongoing conversation that's happening in your industry? You get very clear on those three questions, and I think that allows you to not only stand out, but really understand what type of format is going to be suitable for your show moving forward. So those are some really key questions I like to go through when it comes to looking at the long-term game.
Yeah.
Just to kind of piggyback off of that, choosing something that you're passionate about, of course, because like me and my podcast co-host Jong Lee, we've been doing it now. It'll be 9 years this year.
That's
We're
amazing.
Up to 648 issues. we've been rolling along, and we haven't gotten tired of each other yet. Like we still are talking and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like we enjoy just talking to each other.
And that's a really good point, right? If you have other people on your show with you, I always equate it to being like in a band. You have these guys that, you have like the Who, the Rolling Stone, and when they started, they were all friends. And now it's been this many years later, and they may still be friends and they may not, but they still do the thing together, and they're still, sometimes it is a business. Sometimes it is, we show up, like my co-host is right here, Smiley. We don't really hang out that much outside of our show. But that helps when we do our show because we have a lot to talk about when we see each other. And, everybody's like, when they see us out in public, they see me, they're like, where's Smiley? I'm like, I don't know. I have no clue. and so that is also very important. Whose show is it? If there's more than one, do you have a good rapport? That's a lot of it. It's really, it's almost being like, in a relationship with someone, And the other thing that maybe I want to talk about a little too, are you a storyteller? Like, can you tell a story? Like I've listened to people and they'll say like the same thing over and over and over again, and there's different ways of doing that. without saying the same words over and over again, and that's a very difficult thing to do. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think it boils down to two things. You mentioned passion. So the more passionate you're about talking about something, the more you're going to want to do it. We get that question all the time. It's like, hey, I want to do what you do. Don't know what I would start a podcast about.
Right.
And to that, I say, well, what could you talk about for 45 minutes to an hour without even preparing?
Right.
What do you love so much?
I can do this.
Yeah, that you could launch into a discussion for about 45 minutes to an hour without preparing. For me, Star Wars, easy.
Yeah.
I go 4 hours about Star Wars. I've probably seen all the movies more than George Lucas has at this point because he lived it, he made it. He doesn't need to see it 87 million times like we have. Pop culture, comic books, that's something I could talk about for the next 100 years. So whether you're into sports or food or going to Comic-Cons or whatever, if that's something you truly love and that's something you lived, and it's probably something you've done for many years, so that kind of makes you an expert on it, then the more you're going to want to do it. And the other thing is, the easier it is for you, the more you're going to want to do it. If it's difficult every week to hook up gear, to schedule with your co-host, or whatever, you're not going to want to do it long term.
Right.
So, whether simplify your setup or have someone else record for you, and make sure you schedule a time where it's simple to get together.
Right.
The simpler you want to do it. Ideally, your podcast where you and your co-host and a guest, wherever, you sit down, you just start talking.
Right.
And it automatically gets recorded and everything's perfect.
Right.
Now, you have to do a little work on the technical side, but the simpler you can make that, the more you're going to want to do it, and the longer you're going to want to do it. And
talking about these guys that have been doing it forever, if the excuse can never be creating a podcast is hard to do, because it has never been easier to do than it is now.
Absolutely.
Literally, you can take your cell phone and hit the record on an app and just start talking, and you can record it. Is it going to be the best? Maybe, maybe not. Depends. But like a lot of us come from an era where it was very difficult to do, and that's why we're still here, because we wanted to do it. Like we literally, like for me, when I don't do a show, I take a week off. I feel like a piece of me is missing, and I can't wait till the next one. So there is no excuse that it's hard to do, because it's never been easier to do. You can go to Best Buy, and there's like a whole area of Best Buy where you can buy the equipment, right? You can buy the swing arm and the microphone, and if you do video, you can buy the light, right?
Yeah.
Who did that here? You did that there?
Oh, God. I used I think a drum stand for my microphone one time. Who are the Bright Art podcasters that are just starting? Was it y'all?
Who started? Oh.
Awesome. Congrats.
Let me give you a word of advice, gang. I've been out here since 2014 in the hills of Grenada, scrambling for all kinds of XLR cords or whatever. I want to tell you one thing, seriously. Like, this is my most brutal and honest advice for anyone who wants to podcast or do anything like this. Is one thing you always need to remember: nobody cares who you are at all. When you get on the microphone and you're just your normal self on the microphone, no one's gonna care. Like, I'm a very introverted person. I really don't like being out in public, surprise, surprise, but like whenever I'm doing the show, I try to do a different version of me that's a little bit more animated, because a lot of times back in 2014, nobody knew what I looked like. So I had to like do a little bit better as far as like introducing myself as a voice, being a little bit more descriptive, because sometimes we'll have guests that's like, yeah, man, so what happened to this guy? Oh, he got shot in the face. It's like, yeah, but we got another 30 minutes to go here in the show. I'm gonna need you to be a little bit more like, so be a little bit more colorful with your language. If you're frustrated about something or angry about something, or something like talks to you personally, like a personal story, bring it out. Like, I learned a lot about my co-host. We're talking about movies. That's all we do is talk about movies. But we always kept in mind that nobody gives a damn about us. Like sorry about the language, but even with our episodes titles, we don't get cute with the titles where you don't know what the movie's about. We just put the movie title out there because that's why you came to hear us.
Right.
So like, you bring them in, don't talk about your day too damn long because nobody cares. I had a shower and then it was just the water went cold, it got hot, then it got cold. Like, nobody cares. I came to hear about episode 3. Tell me about how. If you get up to get drinks, I won't get mad. But just
if you're like last night, they turned the lights off.
They turned the lights off.
At 8 o'clock.
Wow.
and you really got to get your good voice in when that happens, guys. But no, just keep in mind to don't if you ever feel like you're getting monotone and you're kind of like getting droll or you're getting bored with it, the listener will as well. So just keep that in mind. And if it's easy for you to do now, then there's less excuse for you to stop. Like this was hard to do. I had to use beat up video cam footage and take the audio from that at first because that's all we had. And we started putting in sound effects and stuff because I knew nobody was going to give a crap about our audio. It was awful. So just keep humbling yourself to a certain extent to where you can like excel further, and just don't think you got enough charisma to get it going because it's not the case.
I have a question for you guys. What does a successful podcast mean?
I hate to break it to you, but
I think having a listenership that comes back is a big thing. I was actually going to piggyback and say that thinking about your audience and not necessarily yourself is like a big way to build an audience for yourself because you want people to listen. So think about what they want you to say. But yeah, I think that's that, and just continuing to go.
Right.
Like not stopping.
How many people?
I was going to contradict that and say that you were talking about, think about your audience. It's like if you're not having fun, then nobody else will either.
Right.
So I do it continue. I mean, we're going to have our 500th episode at the end of the summer, and we're doing that because haven't missed a week. But we do that because we enjoy it. And we hope that you enjoy it as well, and we try to make it so it's not boring, but we also do it for ourselves first. And if you don't do it for yourself first, you will stop doing it. So that's why I kind of contradict that. My audience is second. Like, we want to make sure it's a nice balance.
Right.
But no offense, we come first because we're the ones that have to do it week after week after week. And if it brings an audience to us, that's great, and we'll keep fostering that. But if you don't do it for yourself, it's over.
And you come to a realization that not everyone is your audience.
No.
And if you're trying to do that, then you probably are trying too hard, I would say. I don't know. But let me ask, so you guys are starting one?
I can get up now.
You've been doing it for 2 years. So what is the name of your show?
Roll for Focus. We're TTRPG podcast.
All right.
You're teaching RPG. TTRPG, tabletop role-playing game.
And very good, Chris.
I'm learning these things. Everybody's like, you love Comic-Cons, you go to them all the time.
Are you down with OPP?
I am new to this world, and so So what has been the biggest obstacle for you guys?
You know me.
Mostly just scheduling, like most D&D games.
That's got to be really tough. Yeah. How long is the episode?
An episode is anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the content of that session.
Okay. Interesting. See, I hate when people say how long a podcast should be, right?
It should be as long as it can be.
It can be as long as it wants. What's his name that lives in Austin does like 4 hours.
disgusting.
Yeah. Well, I do 2 to 3, and people don't, and like mine is so stream of consciousness crazy weird that people can drive to work and listen to some, drive home from work and listen to some, and they got a whole week to do that. So I don't really feel like there's a what's the sweet spot for time? 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I don't think there is such a thing. It depends on your content. So don't ever think, don't limit yourself, but also don't shoot for a certain number just because you think you have to.
And don't be afraid to record in advance. I feel a lot of people feel like, it's got to be fresh, it's got to be newsworthy, it's like you want something that's there forever. And so I knew I was going to be here.
Yeah.
We normally record on a Saturday. We've got 3 or 4 backed up, ready to go. So in case someone's sick, someone has the birthday party they got to go to, someone got tickets to a football game, we're not interrupting our lives,
right,
because we've kind of stockpiled. So try to think of that as well. Can I, like you can, if you want to do 3-hour session, you can break that up into 3 episodes, and
Right.
now you don't have to worry about,
There you
it's
go.
an hour. We need to wrap this up in a nice little cliffhanger.
There, and you. Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Wow. And you're starting one?
No.
You're what? 11 years. What is it called?
The Visually Stunning Movie Podcast.
So what is the biggest obstacle you see after an 11-year career in this business?
Defining success.
Defining success. I feel like that's a in this. I mean, you have the guy that lives in Austin that gets paid $130 million from Spotify.
No, but it's individual.
And then you have most of us who probably have lost way more money doing this than we would like to admit, right?
I will say, Chris, I think that question, defining success, is a question that every podcaster should ask themselves even before launching.
Right.
What
Yeah.
does success look like? I've had a podcaster who I was working with, and she was like, I just want to get through the 50th episode.
Right.
And that was success.
That's success.
Someone said, I want to build an email list of this amount of number of people. That was success. So really getting really specific of what does success look like? Do you want to get brand sponsorships? Do you want to build an email list?
Right.
Do you want the podcast to be just kind of part of your ecosystem to build your personal brand? So getting really crystal clear about how this podcast applies to you.
It does.
And it does change, 1,000%. Exactly.
It changes a lot. I have a
love it.
question for you. What's the coolest thing podcasting has brought you in your life?
Oh man, that's tough. Knowing the incredible patience of this lady for putting up with it. But no, being successful enough to make, I hate to say it, it sounds really shallow, to make the press list to see movies in advance.
That's not shallow. That's cool.
Ooh, that's nice.
That was one of my, I was like, oh my God, really? I can do this? Okay, I've done something right to this point. So.
I have a media badge. You have a media badge, right? Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. Is success is individually based.
Yeah.
So for me, I've used mine. I don't make money off my podcast, but I have leveraged it to do some amazing things.
Right.
I mean, Ming and I show up at a lot of different places, a lot of different cons.
Yes.
And we're both moderating.
Yes.
And that's
Same.
enough. That's
Same.
success.
Yes.
So the fact that I get to go to Salt Lake and Tampa Bay and come here and do things and meet interesting people,
Right.
not just the massive celebrities, but I get to see Ming.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I mean,
but you're on that. But also you are on that step.
Yeah. So
No,
Yes.
hey.
Craig is holding you back, sir.
So for you guys that are out there, this is success.
Watch out for
we're
Craig.
all sitting here at the largest Comic-Con in Texas in front of an audience. Do you guys all moderate panels? Do you guys all, we have shows here. I do like 3 or 4 Comic-Cons a year where I get to travel around and do all the moderation for the celebrity panels. Never would have got to do that if I didn't know how to do this, and all kinds of weird stuff.
That's how I got my very first Comicpalooza. Because Ming, I think you were one of my first, way back in the days when we had 2 a year.
2014, yeah.
But it was just because I had a business podcast that I was interviewing John Simmons, who used to run this, and he's like, hey, you ask good questions, you should be a moderator. And that podcast led directly to becoming a moderator, which led me to do all the fun things that I get to do now.
I think that's one of the most unspoken, underlying benefits of starting a podcast. You will become a better communicator.
Yeah.
You will gain more confidence, and you will 10x your relationships. And I think that's something that, with Ming and everybody here, I mean, they have an extensive network. And I would argue to say it's probably because it started behind a mic
Right.
and then expanded. And look at all these opportunities. So, podcasting is not just about downloads. It's much more than that.
Right.
Connections and much more. So it's beautiful.
I met Ming because I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He came into town for Albuquerque Comic-Con, and he was like, he found out our friend was on our show. And he's like, you have a podcast? And they were like, yeah. And he's like, I want to be on it. And then they hit me up, and they're like, Ming Chen wants to be on our show. And I was like, what? Our show? And that's how we met.
Yeah, and we're great friends to this day.
I can't stand him. I'm just kidding.
And yet here we are.
Can't stand him.
And I got you here to Comicpalooza. We're like, hey, it's a very podcast forward convention. You need to be here. You need to leave Albuquerque, come to Houston, and come to one of the greatest Comic Cons in the world, where they champion podcasting.
Yes, which brings us to another point of how to be successful doing this: networking. Getting out into the world and meeting people. I know how scary that can be, but it is absolutely important. You have to do that. You have to get out, you have to hand out stickers, you have to hand out business cards or whatever, or t-shirts, whatever you have, branding. Put your logo that you made or someone made on it and hand them out and tell people about your stuff. And that's how you get guests. That's how you end up at stuff. I don't know. It's weird, right?
Yeah. You gotta leave your podcast sticker in the bathroom at Neil's bar.
I don't know who did that. That was not us. I mean, it may have been us.
Some of my best listeners are in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where do you think people listen to podcasts?
Yeah, I've gone to see some live true crime shows and just surreptitiously sneaking my cards and stickers in.
You need to go to murder scenes and put it in the evidence bag.
They're like, you're always
Sorry for your loss,
here.
ma'am.
It's when they say no is when you're supposed to do yes. Like, I'm onto something. Otherwise, they wouldn't have said no.
Right. They're like, how come you're always here first? Interesting.
Kind of
Road
piggybacking
tradition,
off what
isn't that
you
how
just
that
said
works?
about the interactions and everything.
Yeah.
What that has led for me is, like Jong, my co-host, he gets sick or something like that a lot. No offense, Jong. I'm sorry.
He's weak.
But that's allowed us to have a lot of fill-in guests.
You're right.
A lot of fill-in hosts, and then that kind of just builds its own, because then they share the podcast or they talk or they interact with somebody, and then it goes back to what you were saying, Ozeal, connections. You start building this network of people that you can not only talk to, work with, but maybe even have as a fill-in guest or fill-in host, I should say.
That is a big thing. And it's really weird. When I was young, I was like, man, it would be so cool to be on the radio. And then when podcasting came in, I was like, well, I don't have to go be on the radio. I can do this. And I did it. And then I ended up on the radio. And it's terrible. I hated it.
On Comicast airs on ESPN 97.5.
Okay.
So that's also a weird thing.
It is. But when you actually walk into the professional environment where they've built it to this industry that you grew up with, and then you're talking, and then you're like, well, hold on, we'll be right back. And then for 9 minutes, commercials play. That is the weirdest experience coming from just doing a show in my house in Portales, New Mexico. It's the weirdest thing. You never know where things will take you. And I think a lot of us had no idea we would even be here or wherever. So always remember that. I mean, do people have any questions? I want to see if there's any questions out there. Oh, yeah.
Over there.
The pirate in the second to last row.
Hi.
Sorry, I got
Mine's kind of a two-part question. I want to know first, is this a side gig for you guys, or is this y'all's main job? And if it's a side gig, how do you keep everything, you gotta schedule stuff now. How do you keep that organized?
That's pretty easy.
I'll start with you, because I think you're probably the most enterprising, business-minded podcaster that I know. You go first, though, because you're here, and I love what you do.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Respect is mutual. So I work in a podcast as a podcast marketer for a network. So that's my day job, full time. But I have been in positions where I monetize a podcast. It's really about treating it like a profession, like a professional. Just be a professional. Have a schedule. Have just if you're running a business, making sure that you have every Monday I'm going to do this. I'm going to do research every Tuesday. Now with AI tools, there's opportunities to be able to kind of help you with that as well. So it's just a matter of just getting really organized, creating a schedule, a content editorial calendar, guest outreach. And then whenever you start making money, you can hire somebody like a virtual assistant to help you out with all those, where you just become the talent. And I've been in those positions before. So just discipline, just making sure you're, it's a lot of work. That's why I said in the beginning, there's times where I'm like, man, I felt like quitting. In real talk, I really, because it was a lot of work. But I'm like, I really love what I do. And if I want to do this authentically, I got to be a professional. And what do professionals do? They show up, they're disciplined, they have responsibilities and accountabilities, and they just build from there. So yeah, systems is going to be your best friend when it comes to being a professional podcaster. Go ahead.
Mine's weird because I work for ESPN 97.5. I've been with them, it'll be 17 years this year. So it's like a weird, it started off as a side gig 9 years ago, and then it's kind of morphed into where I work as well. So I treat it still like a side gig where I just dedicate my time and just set aside time for me and Jong to record every week, and then we balance in that he brings topics or whatever, and I focus on the editing and whatnot, and we just have a good symbiotic relationship in that way where we're easy to just bounce back and forth with in that way. So it's just mainly a side gig, I would say.
Yeah, it's very hard to do this full time. As much fun as it is, and it's especially hard to make money right off the bat unless you're famous already. It takes time to build up enough audience where advertisers will think you're viable enough to throw a bunch of money at you to advertise with. The other way to make money is through crowdfunding. If you can build enough audience where they'll contribute maybe money on a monthly basis for bonus content and T-shirts and hard goods. And you have to get to that point first, which is very hard. But with that in mind, I love this so much. I wanted to find a way to do it full time and turn it into a full-time gig. So I saw that many years ago that there was a market where there were people that wanted to record podcasts but didn't want to mess with hooking up cables and setups, didn't want to go through the learning curve of how to post a podcast, uploading files, marketing files, editing, all that. So what I did several years ago is I started with one studio. I built a studio, and I was like, maybe I could rent this out by the hour to people who wanted to start podcasts. And at the time, very weird idea, very new idea. Didn't know if anybody would want to use it. And finally, I'm like, listen, if nobody uses this, at least you have a place for you and your friends to record at the bare minimum. But lo and behold, people started booking it. At first it was friends of friends, but we started getting people we didn't know booking. It was like, oh, we got to be professional now. We can't leave beer cans around. We gotta clean this place up. We got to turn this into a legit business. And now we have 2 studios, and I've turned into something that I could sustain it into something. I'm not getting rich off of it, but the potential is there where I could expand into more studios. That's where I see the potential. But at the heart of it, one, it's a gig where I can work my own schedule into it, which is great. And 2, first and more important to me, I'm showing how much people how much fun this is, and why they should be doing it, and making it easy enough for them to come in to record weekly.
When I first started, I had a bunch of creative jobs. Now I'm mostly focusing on the podcast and writing, but it does take a long time to make any money, and I don't make that much off of the podcast, but it is exciting to make some money off of it. And I will say, as a tip, keep track of every single thing that you buy related to your podcast. Even for me, true crime books are something that I'm tracking now, because when it comes time for taxes, I'm claiming literally everything. And if nothing else, I help with that.
Smart. Yeah.
Hey. For you, yes. It's a side gig for me. I do it for the love of the game, but honestly, it's if you feel like you need. Are you retiring? Yeah, a little bit. If you need a place where you want to be able to express yourself, to where you feel like it's like an outlet for you, make that a priority too, because it's a little bit of therapy for me in a certain sense, to where I prioritize it as if I'm doing it for I'm going to a therapy session or whatever. I treat it with the same importance as if I'm doing something for my mental health. But one of my little tiny goals is to make sure when I do the podcast that I make it to where it's self-sustaining, to where it's not costing me anything to do the project. So it's a quote-unquote side gig, it's a hobby to a certain extent, but at the same time, it's a self-sustaining thing, and you can get that done by just being, whenever you're on social media, kind of be in touch with these people, interact with your listeners or whatever, to have a listenership to where they will want to actually support you because you're on a personal level with them. But even with me doing it for the time that I've been doing it, we've been doing well. But like, it's still technically a side gig, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you could always make time, because one of the biggest cop-outs you could do for yourself, be like, oh, well, I don't have time. Like, yes, you do. You absolutely do. If it's something that you want to do, you always find time for the stuff that you want to do, right? You always find time to do something that you really, really want to do. You'll always find that time. So you got to put that same type of focus to something to where it actually be beneficial for you. Because like me doing something to where it's like a digital raise room, I'm still having some form of benefits of actually putting in work, editing, producing, all this other stuff that I hate doing. But I get reciprocal benefits from doing something where I get put something out. So you will make time if it's something that you're truly passionate about, whether it's podcasting or anything else.
I was going to say, after hearing all that, it sounds like if you just get some medication, you'll have a lot more free time.
I don't have time for medication.
No, but you said everything, because it's basically people make time for things they enjoy. And if you're worried about not having enough time, it's probably because you're not enjoying it enough. I always find time to get the podcast done. Now, sometimes it doesn't come out exactly at midnight on Friday like I want. Sometimes it comes out on Saturday afternoon. But because as I get older, I get more tired. I get sleepy. I'm like, it's past my bedtime now. And I live in California, so it's only 4:52 there. But it's one of those things, you'll find time. If you would truly enjoy it, you'll find the time. It's not finding time is not the problem. For me, it's more relying on other people to follow my schedule. Like, hey, we're going to meet on every Saturday at 6 o'clock. And you find people that will do that, and you'll also find people who will not. So that's when you start to decide, well, who are my backups? Like, Mark will come on. I know that whatever time I say, he's like, yeah, and he's there early. You'll know who cares about being on the podcast and with you. So if you have the time, you'll find it.
For me, it's a side gig. I have a day job that pays very well, so I don't have to worry about it. I will say a secret.
I have a wife.
A secret to it.
I have a wife.
Don't burn bridges constantly, especially with sponsors. I should learn that.
Nah.
But if I don't like something, I say that I don't like it. But they're like, hey, here's your alcohol sponsor. I'm like, this tastes like garbage. And then
No
they go,
more sponsor.
oh, yeah, there they go.
No more
I
sponsor.
do like our current sponsor, Topo Chico Hard Seltzer, so that's awesome.
all right.
So it's been very beneficial to us. But in order to make it like your main gig, you have to you have your regular job, then you have your job as a podcaster, then you have your third job, which is now a media person, where you have to learn how to make a press kit. You need to learn how to do social media. You have to learn the algorithms. You have to learn all the different things. You have to learn how to chop up the podcast or the hour-long video cast that you did into little segments so that you can lure people in. So you really got to figure out, like, is the juice really worth the squeeze? That's the honest truth of it. Because again, a lot of people see like a professional podcaster that's doing very well, and they go, that looks easy, I'm going to do it. If it usually looks easy, that means it's very hard, and they're making it look easy. So I don't know. Do we have any other questions? We have a question over here.
About the juice. I didn't want to get political.
So you mentioned Patreon near the beginning.
Yeah, crowdfunding.
Yes, and we have a Patreon, but one of my questions is, how do you entice it? We have a lot of bonus content on there, and that can end up making it a little more exhausting to do the main content as well. We just added like 3 different campaigns behind Patreon in addition to our main. So how do you balance the wanting to give your audience, even just our 5 patrons who give us money and we love them, give them what they're paying for and give them a lot, but also not completely run yourself into the dirt while you're trying to give them a lot?
I just want to know how much. What are your price points for Patreon? I'm just curious.
He's asking because he wants to do that.
Yeah.
$1, $5, $10, $15, and $20 currently.
Okay, so I'm assuming the $20 is what's wearing you out the most.
Yeah.
15 and 20 are
15 and 20.
Okay. Yeah, I think we, Randy, we maxed out at what, $3?
$3.
We maxed out at $3 only because we knew that we're not going to be able to shell out that much of content. So like, if you might want to possibly dial it back just for the time being until you get to a point to where you guys can actually churn the machine to where you can ask for more. But like, our goal is like, if you can afford a Taco Bell Maxi Milk once a month, then please support us for some stuff. We'll give them some stuff. We'll do some bonus stuff, but we manage how much we ask for, money-wise, for how much we're actually giving to, like, whatever's within our means and our schedule, because it's been tough. I'm working 2 jobs now, so it's kind of hard for me to watch extra stuff, to do extra shows for, so we don't churn out as much stuff as possible, but like no one's really banging down our door because we're charging them a maximum of $1, $3 max. Like our $3 one is something to where we let them take control of some of the episodes, like, hey, well, or depending on what it is, like where they can have listener input on what you're doing. You can form factor whatever the prizes are, whatever that you're giving to the stuff that you're already doing to where it doesn't jack up your schedule too much. At least for me. I know you guys have more money.
I have opinions
sound
about
like you know what
this.
you're doing.
No.
One thing about Patreon is don't rush to have a bunch of different levels. I also made this mistake. So we have 3 levels. It's a $1 level, a $5 level, and $10 level. And we have several $10 contributors. And so like I can't cancel it because like it's like the main thing. Like it makes it makes so much more money than the other episodes in my like $10 a month exclusive episode because like people are paying for it. But it is so much work to provide like 3 bonus episodes every month. So if I could do it again, I would not have 3 levels and I would just have like 2 levels and maybe simplify what people get.
Yeah, I think everyone on Patreon feels your pain. I think the last thing you want to do is sacrifice your main content for the Patreon content. What I've seen most people do is trying to simplify the bonus content. The other thing they do is they kind of diversify it. So I think you have a co-host, right? And you guys are doing the bonus content. You have 3 contents. You may want to do once a week. The bonus content is just you and maybe one of your more popular guests coming up with a concept for the bonus. It doesn't have to be all 3 of you. That maybe splitting the duties for the bonus content. Coming up with concepts for the bonus content that are related to your main topic, but not something you have to think about so much. Maybe it's something that they said offhand that could make a once a month, 20-minute, 30-minute bonus show viable, fun to record, and not so exhausting. But yeah, with that in mind, it's another job. That's just the fact of it. If you want people to buy into it, you're gonna need to put that kind of commitment into it. And yeah, if you can, people aren't gonna subscribe. So it's a balance for sure. And then I don't know if you're sending out hard goods for your upper tiers, stickers, T-shirts, whatever. That's work as well. And you're also getting into business, and it sucks. I just want to record content at the end of the day, right? But if you can find a way to make money at it and get a bunch of patrons, and it will happen if you put out good content. It'll definitely be worth it. But it's work, man.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? The same thing? Pretty much?
What they said.
What they said. I don't do Patreon because it's how much work, how much time. It's a lot of work, you said it. And I've tried to do it before, and it's like, man, this is way too much. And I just want to give people the product. I'm like, here's the product. I don't want to chop it and give somebody like a taste of it. And that's just me. That's not everybody. That's the thing that's so cool about podcasting is it's so diversified. There's so many different ways. Like there's people who do podcasts here that plan out the entire podcast. There's some of us who have no idea what we're going to say when we walk into the room, and that's just how it goes. So it's interesting how different, and to be in a room or a place with a bunch of different people who do the same thing as you, but they do it in their own way, which is why this is so cool, right? So who else has a question? Oh, here we go, way back here. You guys like me walking all over. Do you guys know I'm hungover? They made me go out last night. I didn't even want to.
We made you do nothing, first of all.
I didn't even want to drink 6 or 7 beers.
And instead of walking, you can run.
Oh, all right.
How would you transition from streaming to podcasting? And would you say that there's more money to be made in the podcasting industry versus streaming?
Hold on, I have to. So you mean what do you mean by streaming?
They do not mess around at Comicpalooza. Lights out.
Like if you start off as a streamer.
Stream where?
I stream just like lifestyle streaming and talking to.
Oh, so like as an influencer, like on TikTok or Instagram?
I used to stream on, what is it called?
You don't have to say if it's something. Oh, okay.
It's called Bigo Live.
Oh, okay. Okay, so this actually came up recently in my life. I have a lifestyle streamer that hit me up and picked my brain about transitioning from doing like short form content, minute to 20 seconds to a minute to doing a whole show. I think that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Do you have the content to fill like 30 minutes or an hour? You want to do 2 hours? Well, you do 2 hours.
He's just talking.
So say that again. You want to know like how to
transition from, because with streaming you're just solo, you know, but with podcasting, could you also do it solo, or do you have to have a co-host?
Oh,
You can
no,
do it solo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of people do it solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because no one wants to deal with them, but that's why.
But see, how long do you think you can sustain that? I mean, Bill Burr does it.
Yes, he does. Well,
Yeah.
And he does it by calling into a voicemail, so he's not even really doing podcast. Well,
Right.
he's doing it better now, but that's
Can-
how he started.
Can you talk to yourself really well?
exactly.
I mean, if you can, I feel like you can do anything like that.
Yeah.
For some people, it's easier to do it with less people. Some people, it's easier to do it with a lot of people. It just depends on how long you've done it, and if you're. I feel like you probably have a leg up on all of us because you already have the marketing part of it probably down. If you're successful at the streaming. So, the light's going up.
Yeah, get the hell out of here is what she's saying, very politely.
No, I'm not.
Get your umbrella.
All
Get
right.
the hell out.
So that means we got to leave, right?
I know no one's coming here. Oh, he's nodding his head, but
Are we okay?
all right.
Well, awesome. I want to thank everybody on the panel for being
you
here
very much,
today.
everybody.
Yay!
Yeah, give it up for Chris Burnett, 10 drink minimum, great moderator,
I've done this before.
all the way from Albuquerque, New Mexico. But yeah, more importantly, thank you guys for
Yeah.
coming.
Thank you guys for coming. You have any questions? Just go to Ming Chen. He has a booth over there.
Yeah, I'll be here all day tomorrow.
Brendan,
if you have
go.
any
You're gonna miss
questions.
her.
I think we're all around pretty much all weekend as well.
Yes.
Please stop us.
Oh, come by later. We have a podcast tonight. What?
Yeah, 9:45. The ultimate Kevin Smith movie showdown, room 340.
340.
Yeah, just come in an hour early and hang out for our podcast.
Yes.
No.
Hey, up,
Don't
Kirk
do
Price.
it. Don't do it.
Thank you guys.
You'll get a good seat for the next one.
Picture. Get up here.